Well, good morning. This is Brad Foster, president of Foster Energy Consulting, and today I'm doing a video blog about what is commonly referred to in the electric supply industry as pass-through charges. Now, I'm doing this video because many consumers are receiving notices from their electric suppliers about pass-through charges that will result in an increase in their electric costs. So, what is a pass-through charge? Well, a pass-through charge is a change to a consumer's billed price for electricity, normally reflected as a change in the contract price negotiated between buyer and seller as represented in the electric supply agreement. Now, to better understand pass-through charges, one must understand how electric supplier pricing works. Now, electric suppliers' pricing models are partly based on costs that they expect to incur over the course of a term of an agreement while providing electric supply. Now, these behind-the-scenes costs are both fixed and variable. So, suppliers, when they develop proposals for electric supply, they estimate what these fixed and variable behind-the-scenes costs will be, and they hope to recover these costs through the contract price over the course of the electric supply agreement. Now, if these costs change beyond their estimates, suppliers may initiate a pass-through. Now, many suppliers have language in their electric contracts that allow for pass-through charges. Pass-through charges can be tied to changes in law, the mandatory implementation of new tariffs or costs, changes to peak load contribution and or its associated rates, and changes to the network service peak load contribution and or changes to its applicable rates. Now, the impetus behind this most recent pass-through was an extraordinary jump in variable behind-the-scenes costs that occurred in January of 2004, a period when wholesale electric prices skyrocketed. Now, I did a prior blog about what happened in January of 2014 on the PJM grid and how wholesale electric prices skyrocketed. You may want to reference that blog to get a better handle on the dynamics surrounding that situation. But this jump in variable costs was so high that it blew out the electric supplier cost assumptions on variable costs. Consequently, their costs are higher than expected, their margins are lower than expected, and some suppliers initiated a pass-through. Now, not every supplier is initiating a pass-through, and even those that are, there may be different degrees of pass-through, meaning that one supplier's pass-through values are different than another's. Why? Because electric supply contracts differ from one supplier to another. Some contracts leave the door open-ended in terms of pass-through charges. Others are very specific about what constitutes a pass-through charge. Some contracts address pass-through increases. Some contracts address pass-through increases or decreases. Some eliminate pass-through charges altogether. So here's the point. When businesses don't understand the implications tied to pass-through charges, well, they're missing a vital piece of information regarding the real value of their electric supply agreement. At a minimum, without the insights about pass-throughs, well, consumers are unable to make valid apples-to-apples comparisons between electric suppliers. Why? Because the value of the deals depends significantly on the pass-through cost implications. This means that there are consumers that are taking on unknown risk and unknown potential for cost leakage, a function of potential pass-through related events. And this is bad news. The issue behind pass-throughs really is who's going to take on the behind-the-scenes risk. Is it going to be the supplier or is it going to be the consumer, and at what cost? Actually, there are many more implications tied to pass-through events, but they are going to be outside the scope of this video presentation today. I hope you found this material of interest. Please feel free to email me or call me with any questions or comments, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much.